Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Sundays with the Sumpters. Thank you so much, first of all, for all of the outpouring for our anniversary kickoff video. The love was just tremendous,
Yes, it
right?
was.
So we appreciate that, and we just ask that you continue to go on this journey with us. For the record, I am Latanya Sumpter.
And I'm Keon Sumpter.
And we're the Sumpters. We are using this time to kind of talk about our story and give some insight into our relationship culture. We don't proclaim to be relationship experts, but what we do have is a very happy, healthy marriage. So, for those who are interested in what we do, these videos are for you. So, let's start off today. I think we talk about this amongst ourselves pretty frequently, but there are some common misconceptions concerning our relationship and concerning our marriage. And I think it might be cool to kind of talk through some of those. Because just because we don't say anything, right, doesn't mean that we don't know.
Right.
What people say, think, or whatever. Not that it matters, but I think it just might be a cool topic.
Yeah. You want me to start?
Yeah.
So I know one that just came to mind right off the bat was that we are always together.
Yes.
And as if we are newlyweds and not and codependent of some sort. Or something
It kind of
like
feels like codependent. It feels like we are incapable of not doing things without the other person. That is the energy that's usually derived from that. All right, so talk about that. Yeah.
Excuse me, y'all.
Let's talk through that a little bit. Like, what do you?
I think I don't know. I don't know. This is all I can. I can't relate to that logic. Whatever the logic is that the people come to that conclusion, but it seems to be that they're interpreting our comfort with being around each other with being like, yeah, they get along too well. They must be around each other all the time. You know, we're comfortable with ourselves. So therefore, and we did that first,
right,
before we got together. So we are comfortable. We know what it's like to be comfortable. So we are able to do that together. But that we didn't forget how to do that individually. Like, we see to it that each other's personal comforts are attained. So like we share a home, but it's not just my house. So what do you like? What would you like to have? What was your dream? So we incorporate each other's dreams or each other's desires into whatever it is that we're doing together. So we don't neglect our individuality. So she travels. She's all over the country for work from time to time, and we don't fall apart. You know, we don't. The life doesn't stop. We might go to the same place because, like I say, we enjoy being in each other's company.
I think that is very fair. Yes.
She the coolest person. She's the coolest person I can hang around. So therefore, you know, I don't mind being with my wife, but I don't feel sick when she's not, because I know that she's coming back. You know what I'm saying? If I know we're gonna be back together at some point. Yeah. So I don't feel away. But what do you think about that?
I think one of the I echo your sentiments. I think that when people talk about us always being together, it is, again, as if we are incapable of existing without each other. Keep in mind, we've been married for 6 years, but we definitely know how to live without each other. And I think too, to be fair, one of the things that comes to mind for me is that we didn't marry each other out of the desperation or the fear of, I can't live without you. Right. I didn't marry you because I just can't live without you. Yeah, I married you. Right. I married you because I love the life that we were able to talk about building together. And I love the strides that we make in doing that. But it is not from a place of lack or from a place of fear.
Right.
Another, I think, misconception that I've heard is that y'all, because y'all always smiling and y'all just always so happy together, y'all don't ever have any problems. Everything is so perfect with y'all. I mean, everybody can't be perfect like y'all.
We're definitely not perfect. We don't. We just don't. We don't mind the challenges.
Yeah.
There's an expectation that there'll be challenges. We didn't have a requirement that we would agree on everything, so that was cool. Like right out the bat, we determined that hey, we don't have to agree on everything, and I will yield. We yield to each other, so that's the situation that comes up that always happens. That's probably our arguments are no, I want you to have what you want. And it's like no, I want you to have what you want. It's like that's all right. I'll get mine next time. You know what I'm saying? But it's I think that's cool. I mean, she's my best friend, so this is if I never got a chance to experience this as an individual with anybody, but we laugh, we cut up, and she is concerned about me getting what I always wanted, and I'm concerned about her getting. So it's like, and that was the vows. Like I see to her happiness, and she sees to mine, and if because she's doing her job, I don't have to worry about missing out on what I want. Like because I'm putting her first, she putting me first. We getting it together. It's almost like that big spoon thing where you like I feed you. I can't feed myself with the big spoon, but I can feed you with it, and you got me.
Yeah. I also think it's important to note that we don't always agree, but in the way that we disagree or in the way that we take time to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Right. So that to me, I mean, I've had experiences where when there's a disagreement, it elevates to a crazy level of intimidation, people getting loud, people want to put hands, like all kinds of things that are awful.
Right.
Just from I can't control you, or we disagree. I love that we are able to disagree respectfully. And one of the things that we do whenever we are trying to get on the same page, we touch. We touch, right? Because
so remember that we on the same team.
Yep, remembering that we're on the same team and that it is us against the problem and not us against each other.
Right.
And so whenever people see that we are always smiling and always happy together, it is not because we don't disagree. It's just that we found a way to lovingly and respectfully disagree.
It just came to mind that sometimes in the beginning when this was my first marriage, and in the beginning, I only had to reference past experiences. So when there are disagreements, it was like you think that if I don't agree, the outcome of the past will happen now, and that's where the touching comes into place. We're like, well, no, this is different. This isn't that, because until we have some new experiences to replace those old ones, we didn't have to remember. Like now I can count on, I don't have to withhold. I don't have to not say anything and feel a way about something. I can say something and it not be immediately defensive. But if they're, that sometimes we do have to say that, like, hey, that I'm like, you might feel like I'm offending you, but that I wouldn't. Remember that who I am. Like, I'm not saying it because I'm trying to offend you. I'm saying it because this is a concern that I have, and vice versa. And it's like we able to say, well, hold on now, let's stop for a second because I think you took what I was saying the wrong way. Or sometimes it might be just a word got missed in the sentence. Like it might be just a misinterpretation of what was said. It was like, and a lot of times I've watched people be upset with each other, and then after all the bad behavior, and mistreatment, you find out it's like, oh, I thought you said da da da. So now you feel stupid. I don't want to feel stupid about being upset about the wrong thing. So let's stop and talk about it.
Yeah, I think, and we can talk more about this, I think, on our next video as far as what sets us apart and things that we do, sort of the pillars within our relationship. But I think communication is definitely on that list, and making sure that we communicate in a way that the other person can receive it and understand it. And there's some things that we take into consideration to ensure that outcome. Any other misconceptions, though? What else do you think people that you've heard or seen that you're like, no, that's not really how we rock?
I be ignoring people though, so I don't be paying attention to the outside world for real. But because I mean, I don't know if it qualifies, but I know that well, the misconception is that I think that I might have had, or that some people have, is that if you're married, it has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Like it has to be whatever was done traditionally. But based on my observation, because I was single for a long time, and I had close relationships with people who, I focused a lot on people who had relationships because that's what I wanted for myself. And I was able to account for the things that they did that didn't work. So I purposely came up with my own things. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that because I see the content, it was a repetition that I was able to identify that if you do this way, this is going to happen. So I was like, well, I got to do the opposite of that. I don't know what to do, but I know what not to do. And so oftentimes it's misconceived that you have, because if you're in a relationship, this is what it should be like. But because this is our relationship, it's what we want. It don't have to be like anything else.
Correct.
And I feel like we've had some success with that.
Yeah.
So I guess the misconception from the external point of view would be that, oh, well, if you're married, you do this. It's like, no, we don't do that as a married couple. We do what we do.
What we want to do.
We don't disrespect each other. We don't play fight. We don't play. We don't participate in things we don't practice things that we don't want to execute in our marriage.
For sure.
And that's not a misconception for us, but maybe it could be a potentially. They ain't said it to me. But.
Well, to be fair, most of this ain't nobody really said to us. But no, I agree though. I think that it is very much what you make it, whatever you all need, and everybody needs something different. Everybody's marriage requires something different. And as you're partnering, it's important to understand what those things are so that you can meet the need of your person, right? Otherwise, why did we get married? If I have to struggle as hard as I did by myself, or if I don't have anybody to help me fill in my blind spots, or if I don't enjoy, like genuinely just enjoy being around that person, why would I subject myself to a lifetime of that, right? So, no, I think that those are probably 3 or 4 of the top misconceptions that we've had over the time that we've been married and that we've been together. But here we are, doing what we do. And I just think that that's pretty awesome, that we are able to look beyond the noise and the external influences of other people and their thoughts and their trauma or whatever it is that they're bringing into their, we bring our experiences into our opinions, but we are able to come together and say, you know what is it that we want and how is it that we want to do it? And there you go. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time on this Sunday. Join us next Sunday where we'll be talking about more of the pillars and more of the things that we stand on as far as our relationship culture. I think that'll be cool.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody, and we hope that you have the most amazing rest of your day. Remember, I'm cheering for you, okay? Talk to you soon.